Hello, everybody. So it has been a while since I've done a live stream, but I'm glad to be doing it again. I mentioned I don't think I've done a live stream since like July or like the summer because just this past semester just kicked my ass. Like I was unbelievably busy because I'm a
Type 2
what on
diabetes
earth is
doesn't
that?
care who you are, man,
Woman.
Okay, so I just oh my god. Can you tell that I haven't streamed in a while? Okay. So what just happened? Um I have the watch page open in a different window because like the watch page I can see the live chat and like answer whatever comments or questions or whatever that you might put there because like my group chat thing and like my view I've never been able to like be able to see the comments in this group chat, but if I had the watch page open I could see the comments through there. And I forgot to mute the watch page, and then that's what just happened there. So anyway, back to like how last semester just kicked my ass. So obviously I'm a full-time student. I was taking 20 credits of classes, which is as a music major kind of unavoidable. And I was also working for my school, which was a great experience. And my boss is very lovely, and yeah, she's great. And and I still have my job. It's not like I like did it for one semester. Like, no, I still have this job, and it's like, it's a really good gig for somebody who's in school like a lot because I can do it from wherever I choose. Like I can do it because I work off my laptop or off my phone, but not really. Like I can't do a lot off my phone. Like I can answer emails and that's kind of about it. I can't really do scheduling or anything like that off my phone, but yeah, it's nice to have that flexibility, and I can work whenever I want, like within reason. Like I can't procrastinate sending stuff out. I actually went into this in that like one take happy video that I made when I just like had so many awesome things happen at once, and I kind of went into it in that video. Um, so I'm gonna just kind of do what I've been doing with these streams, which is starting off with updates and then taking inbox. Although I think I only have one in my inbox, and it's one that I've like it needs a really long response. And so it's like if you ask me a question that like demands like kind of like a really long explanation, I might put off answering it because it's like it takes time, okay? But I think I'm gonna actually answer that one, and I'll explain later. Like I'm gonna answer that, but I also want to make the answer to that into like an advice post because I was like, oh, I don't have an advice post for this. That's weird. So I have updates. I have many an update, and just yeah, I have not live streamed in months, and it's nice. It's nice. Like the reason I love live streaming is because I could literally just like let loose my like stream of consciousness that's in my brain, and I don't have to worry about like editing it or jump cutting it or anything, and I could just let loose on the internet. And I think it's like become an unofficial tradition that I always have Starbucks like in these live streams. Like there's coffee always right. Well, this is a caramel macchiato. I was gonna get the iced eggnog latte because I just the eggnog latte is so good, you guys. But I just got like they were like we're out of eggnog, and I was like, so I got this instead, and it's really good. I bounce between a few drinks. Like I don't have a usual drink, but I bounce between like 3 or 4. So I have a list of stuff I want to tell you about because it's a lot of stuff. So let's pull it up. Okay, the first being Cab Web. That was it came out in late November. Oh my god, it's almost a month ago now. And it seems weird that I can actually say that that thing came out like on release day. I was like, oh my god, it's over because it was literally like 4 months in the making. So it was crazy to actually like have the finished product and then put it out and like there it is. And I loved making that. It came out just I'm so proud of how it came out. I'm really happy. I really like that, and it's probably my favorite collaborative video project that I've done so far. And I really, really, really do want to make another one, and ideally, I would be making Caba Web into a series. And so with that, we have kind of like some other issues, like to kind of address, like with that, like because one, you might, I don't know if you've noticed, but like I don't really intentionally start series on my channel. Basically, my rule is if I make 3 iterations of something or episodes of something, and I can see myself making more in the future, that's when I kind of declare it its own series. Like, it's pretty rare that I intentionally start a series. I think Tales of Hell Week was almost like that, and I was like, when I made the first one, I was kind of like, there's no way this is going to be a one-off. There is no way this is going to be the last one of these videos that I make and the only one I make. But anyway, the question becomes, like, how often am I going to make Cabawebs? And my thought was maybe 1 or 2 a year because they're very, very labor intensive. This past one, I mean, this past one was unusual that it's like, I can't even say it's unusual. It was the first one, and I kind of was like making it up as I went along. This past one took 4 months to put together, which, I mean, in retrospect, that's almost like creating like a real show, 4 months of work. But the reason it lasted for 4 months is because I changed the release date to Theater Commandment's birthday, which is November 29th. So I put it out on the blog second birthday, and I just like kind of made that decision. But I had kind of formulated the idea for Cabaweb back in August, and then it just wound up being like this 4 months. No, I came up with the idea in late July, so it was almost exactly 4 months. But anyway, I don't want it to take 4 months next time, but then again, I know I can't do it as quickly as, say, a Tales of Hell Week for several reasons. One, it's so much harder to get video submissions than it is to get text submissions. Like Tales of Hell Week, Tales of Hell Week, recently I've been pre-filming them just because the Hell Weeks that I've been in kind of this past year have been, once Hell Week comes, well, that entire month I wouldn't have been able to film, so they're pre-filmed far in advance. But anyway, the way I've been doing Tales of Hell Week, like kind of pre-filming aside, is that I'll get stories, I'll have submissions open for like a week or two, and then I'll film them the following week. And by that point, like, for Tales of Hell Week, that, like, God help you if you message me during a Tales of Hell Week submission period, because there's a pretty good chance I will not see it, because my inbox just gets flooded with stories, and I really do love reading them all. That is my favorite series to make, just because I just love reading all of your hilarious theater stories. So I really do enjoy making that. So yeah, that's a little thing. I think I've said that like a million times, but it's just like, I would literally, like, during the submission periods, because I get so many submissions for Tales of Hell Week. I mean, now, like, the first episode, I was like begging for stories. Now you guys willingly send me in very many stories. I would, like, every time I'd go on break, I'd read the new stories that come in and just like laugh my ass off. So, but anyway, for video submissions for something like Cabaweb, it's just harder to get. I might get 40 or 50 story submissions, and that's probably an understatement, actually, for Tales of Hell Week, but then I'll get just barely what I need for a Y Theater or a Cabaweb. I might get 10. I think I had, in total, over a 4-month period, about 15 to 20 submissions. Only 10 went through the final cut, and I actually didn't cut anybody who followed the submission guidelines. I did cut people, but they knew, and I mean, like, they knew far before, like, the cast was announced, because I had said, all right, you didn't follow the guideline, please refilm this. You're not in the running automatically because you didn't follow the submission guidelines. And, like, guys, when I put submission guidelines on things, they're normally pretty basic, but please read them, because they're there for a reason, and if you don't follow them, I'm not going to take your submission, plain and simple. So, and you're always welcome to, like, ask me questions about things, ask me questions about what you can do, what you can't do, suggestions, whatever. Like, that's always open. Like, I'm always open to explain these things. But anyway, so the ideally, maybe the next time I do it, I could maybe get the entire production period down to, oh, there's something in my teeth. Ah, that is, okay. Ah. I just had lunch, so that's, okay. That was awkward, kind of embarrassing. All right, let's. Anyway, ideally, I would like to get the production period down to like, I mean, ideally, I would like it to be maybe 2 months. I think that's I think anything shorter than that would be really rough on me, just because of it is very labor intensive. Like I could, if I had it done in 1 month, that would just be crazy. Just kind of like let me just rephrase that. Like if I had nothing to do in my life, if I had no responsibilities, if I didn't have work, if I didn't have school, if I didn't have, shit to do, if I didn't have rehearsal and all of that, I probably could and if I could get the submissions, I probably could get a Cabba Web done in a month, but there's just no way, because it didn't require like heavy editing, like it didn't require jump cutting, but it required me to get the videos off of YouTube and then visually edit them to make them look good, like just basic like contrast, brightness, saturation, all that, and then edit on the titles, and then communicating with the cast about headshots, bios, stuff like that, creating the program, putting it all up, so putting it up on YouTube and then linking it to the Theater Commandments website and then linking that to Tumblr. Like it really was very labor intensive. So 2 months is my goal, but I think for the next one, just because I would have to have a very long submission period, I'm gonna shorten it to 3 months. Don't really know. The question also becomes when in the year do I do it? Because again, I think just because of how busy I am in like my everyday life right now, doing more, I think I really can only handle doing one Cabba Web a year. I mean, I would like to do 2. I'd like to do more than that, but it's hard. So I have 2 thoughts as to when the next Cabba Web would come out, which would be either during the summer, maybe in June, July, August. I don't really know. Ideally more July, because July is a safe month. Because if I take a summer class, it's probably going to be in June, and then August is when I normally go away on vacation, and also that's like leading up to school starting, and also like I work for my school, so August is kind of like gearing up to go back to school month, so that's not really the greatest idea either. But July I'm normally good, so maybe. But the other thought is to do what I did this year and then have Cabba Web come out at the end of November for Theater Commandment's birthday, and I'm leaning towards that just because I like the idea of releasing a musical on the blog's birthday. Do a show to commemorate another year of Theater Commandments. But then again, I also know it's like when I'm in school, this stuff gets exponentially harder. So I don't know. Maybe with a 3-month production period, I might be able to get it done. So I really don't know. But that's that. The other question is title. Yeah. That's actually a concern of mine. Like the idea of doing another Cabba Web is very much still in the drafting phase, so I don't think, at least for this year, that there's going to be one coming out in the summer, just because I don't think I'm going to get it out of the drafting phase until for maybe a month. I mean, I'm off for January, like, well, I'm mostly off. We're going to get to that later. But I don't think I'm gonna get it out of the drafting phase until like where I know like what I want to do, how things are gonna run for at least another month or 2. So that it's very much up in the air. But anyway, the question is, what do I call subsequent Cabba Webs? I'm referring to them as Cabba Webs because I like that name. That name was very geniusly thought of by Roman Voitko-Barros. I hope I said your name right. And my phone just went off. Why? Back in July of this year, for this past one. And I really, really, really like that title because it just incorporates that it's a show, but it's unusual. It's like it's a web cabaret. And so, and I honestly cannot come up with a better like title, and it's very catchy. But my issue is like, I want to keep the title and maybe have Cabba Web. Well, I'll just tell you like the things that I'm thinking of. So I either want to have it be like Cabba Web is the name of the series, and then each show has its own individual name. So it'd be like, I mean, this past one would just be called Kappa Web because it was the first one, but then it'd be like Kappa Web, da da da, rest of like individual title. What I don't want to do is go like Kappa Web 2, Kappa Web 3, because I mean I do that for series like College Problems, AG Live. I do that for Tales of Hell Week, but those are series where an episode number makes sense because they're like a show, they're a web show. Whatever. But for something that I very much want to treat as much as I can like a production, I don't really want to have like episode numbers because it's not really an episode. It's like it's its own standalone thing. But I think Kappa Web would be kind of the overall title of that series. I flirted around with the idea of having them titled like by the year, but if I released more than one in a year, that would kind of get complicated. So it'd be, this past one would be Kappa Web 2015, and the next one would be Kappa Web 2016. Again, I don't know how much I like that, just because I just, I just don't like the idea. That's almost like an episode number, and I kind of don't want to make these like episodes, you know? I want them to be their own standalone thing, so I'm leaning more towards having them have their own titles, or just eliminating the name Kappa Web altogether, having it only, like, having everything have its own name, and then Kappa Web just happen to be the name of the first one. But I like the name Kappa Web so much, so I really don't want to ditch it. So yeah. Believe it or not, I actually take these things very seriously, and I like to make, I don't want to make something that I'm going to look back on and be like, oh, that was a piece of crap. Like, I want to make something that I'm going to be proud of, so I do put a lot of thought into this. And also, another thought, I've been rambling on about this for a while now. Another thought is content of the Kappa Web. This past one, I think we got a really nice variety of songs this past time, but my issue now is, do I want, because I already have, it's hard to get video submissions, it just is. Do I want to make it a theme, or do another one where it's kind of sing whatever you want, just within, regular submission guidelines, which most of them don't even apply to the repertoire. Most of them are stuff like, hey, don't film it vertically. By the way, if you ever send it, ow, I just slammed my knuckle onto the table right by my audio recorder. So if there's a giant blip in the audio that you're listening to right now, if you're not watching this live, sorry headphone users. I don't even know if that was that loud. Anyway, my knuckle hurts because I just slammed it. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Kappa Web. Let me just regain my train of thought. Okay, so I'm thinking about the idea of doing one of these with a theme. Like, at school we do these musical theater reviews. You've probably seen videos of them all over a music channel, and I post recordings, audio recordings of them and videos of them on Theater Commandments, as well as my official blog, which is just amyguarino.tumblr.com. And so for those, we've done things like the last one we did, it was an oldies theme, so musicals from the 20s through the 50s. The next one we're doing is a gender bent theme, which I'm really, really, really excited for. We're in the drafting stage of that right now too. Well, we're a little bit past drafting. We're kind of actually making decisions, but it's still in the board member group chat phase. But I'm so excited for that. And so the question becomes, do I, for this next one, again, kind of submission worries aside, do I try to come up with a theme for it? And I'm going back and forth with this. I really don't know. I mean, I kind of don't, because I'm worried that it'll limit the submissions that I'll get. But then again, I kind of do, because I think it'll make it easier to come up with a title, and two, I kind of just think it'd be a cool idea. But I don't really know. If you have a suggestion, leave it in the live chat. Send it to me on Twitter at GuarinoAmy. There should be a link to that down below, or send it to me through Tumblr, through Theater Commandments, or my personality might be legal. Please don't send it to at Amy Guarino right now, just because I'm not logged into that account. Or you can send it to me through the Theater Commandments website. So any of those, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of where that's at right now. So in all likelihood, the next one is not going to happen until next November, just because I don't think I'm going to get it out of the drafting phase for another month. But we'll just see what happens, and obviously I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, so also in the field of Amy is busy and overworked and needs a nap, I've like been doing the bare minimum as far as running Theater Commandments and YouTube and like keeping track of all my social media and stuff, and like blogs and stuff. And so only this past couple of days have I really been fully back at it, and finally doing, you know, website maintenance, blog maintenance, you know, sprucing everything up after probably a solid month of only just posting. Like, because there, you know, you can't just, if you have a website or you have a blog, or like me, you have 3 blogs, 2 YouTube channels, plus another one that you oversee. Like, I technically have 3, but the third one is for musical theater, so it's like I kind of just oversee it. Like, the account, people, there's like 4 people with access to the account, but I'm the only one that uses the YouTube because I do all the video stuff. Anyway, that's another thing. So, but when you're me and you have like a lot of social media stuff to take care of, it kind of like, if you're only just posting, yeah, sometimes, you know, blog maintenance and website maintenance especially, the shit builds up. And I'm not even like the biggest blogger in the universe, but like, you got to get it done, you know. I don't want to like half-ass it, you know. I'm very much a workaholic, and I'm like, I'm not the biggest blogger in the world, but like a lot of people think I'm cool, which is weird. So I just want to like have a clean website, have everything streamlined, you know, good to go, no issues. And so I'm slowly, you know, sprucing everything up, making sure links are up to date, making sure tags are up to date and all of that. And that's kind of an undertaking, because I it's not even so much that I procrastinated, it's just like I didn't have time. I really did not have time. And it also means that like my typical end of the year videos, which is like blooper reel, supercut, and which one that I did last year that I'm kind of adopting as another end of the year video, which is Life is Funny, which is just clips from vlogs, because you know what? Sometimes life sucks, but a lot of times life is fucking hilarious. So there's that. Supercuts take a lot of time to through, like 20 times as much footage as usual. Blooper reels take literally weeks. I probably could bang it out in like 2 days if I sat and did not move from my computer, but I'm not going to do that because my eyes already suck, and literally, like, I'm sure it's really not doing me any favors in the vision department to be staring at a laptop as much as I do. Like, the last time that I went to get new glasses, which was earlier this year, which the story behind why I needed new glasses is probably going to it's really funny. It's a little bit embarrassing, but it's pretty funny and ridiculous. So it's not because my eyes got worse. Let's leave it at that. That might be an episode of story time, but anyway, yeah. On like we go to LensCrafters, and like they give you like a form, and it's like, oh, do you have this disease? Do you have astigmatism? Yes. Do you have myopia? Yes. Do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have this, like, medical history? And one of them is like, does your job require you to stare at a computer? And I'm just like, well, I'm a professor's assistant who literally does 90% of their work on the computer. I run blogs and a website, and I you know, semi-professionally edit video. Yeah, I stare at a computer screen like a crazy amount. So yeah. But in the realm of social media and just managing things and finally being back at this stuff, which is what I love, is I'm kind of dancing around the idea of deleting my Facebook fan page, just because like I don't really use it and I haven't really kept up with it. And it's just like, because I realized this, like, I use my personal Facebook, which is the only social media that I kind of opt to keep private. The only people that I let become my friends are people that I know personally, or, you know, friends and family only, just people who know me personally. I have a couple of internet friends on there, but they're like internet friends that I talk to all the time. So I don't really open it up to random strangers, which is why I made the Facebook fan page. Like half the shit, I'm not even kidding, like half of the stuff that exists on the blog and on any of my social media exists because I got frustrated one day. Like I just, it's not even like, oh my god, there's so many people asking to be my friend, but it's like I got so many like random friend requests. And some of them that I was like, I recognized their picture from like Tumblr. I was like, okay, you know what? Let's make a fan page because I hate having to keep saying like I don't accept strangers on my personal Facebook. That's just the thing. Like everything else is perfectly like public, and also like because people from like local theater who I don't know personally would like add me, and I wouldn't add them back, and I would just be like I feel bad because they would be like a friend of a friend of a friend, so it's like we exist in the same bubble, but we don't know each other, and it's like I just have that policy of like keeping Facebook private, and so. And then it's also because like I really only use my personal Facebook for like communication at this point and like sharing photos with my friends and stuff, like not just like Instagram, like just like actually like communication stuff. I really only keep my Facebook because I need to, like because sometimes you need to have a Facebook group, like the Facebook group chat for the musical theater board or the group chat for the CSCDC board. I'm on the board of a lot of stuff, and that kind of happened somewhat accidentally. Like if you're in the voice department at ACSM, you'll have to deal with me at some point. Like you can't avoid it at all. But yeah, I haven't really been using it. I'm just not a big Facebook user. Like I used to be when I was like 15, 16, and now I'm just kind of like, I've like fallen off the wagon. And so I'm thinking of deleting it just because I don't really use it. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. Also, okay. Also, in terms of Amy needs to maintain things, little caffeine fix here. Anyway, also on news of Amy needs to maintain things, posters. That's a thing. I unveiled the poster store last year, and then I was slowly adding them in one by one, and then again, I just got really busy, and I never added in all the commandments. I think there's like 10 commandments in there, so that's funny. 10 commandments. This just reminds me, like a while ago, like when Theater Commandments was first starting to take off, like when we first hit 1,000 followers, my dad was like asking me about how Tumblr works and how like Theater Commandments works and all that, and like how I had followers and stuff, and he was just like, are you basically like God on your blog? And I'm like, that's really funny for somebody who runs a blog called Theater Commandments. So, posters. Yeah, that's a thing. I never actually fully filled that store, and now there's like 112 commandments, so shit. I'm really intending to just like maybe bang it out in like 2 or 3 days to get all the commandment posters in the store and then add them as new commandments come out. But because I have to like make the image again and make it for like a poster size, so it actually is some work, but it's more work than adding stuff into the Spreadshirt store. But I just like, that's a goal. It's like actually finish making the posters, because that was one of the first things that people ever asked for. Like the first, like before Theater Commandments is even like had a merch store or had its own website for that matter. Like people since like the very beginning, people have been like, do you have shirts or posters? And it's like, I should make those. So I really should make posters because people have been asking for them for so long, and so I should like not be a shitbag and I should make those. What else do I have on my phone, which has a note of things I need to talk about? Yeah, I think I already went into this. Because December I got spread very, 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 very thin. That's why I was kind of absent from the internet. I wasn't like fully absent, but I just was really only doing the bare minimum as far as Tumblr, YouTube, running the website. So normally, while I would spend this month editing the supercut and blooper reel for the end of the year, I kind of didn't do that because I just didn't have time. So like December is also when, like the last few weeks of December is when my upload schedule really just goes to hell, because it's finals, but then I'm off, but then I'm with my family, so I can't film, and it's just what is my upload schedule, it just kind of it caves in on itself. It's ridiculous. But I saved like Supercut blooper reel and also Life is Funny, like vlogging Supercut for the end of the year, so I don't have to film in December, so I don't have to film during finals week, and so I can like be with my friends and my family in the during the holidays, and I don't have to worry about filming. I don't really have to worry about editing. Well, it's easier to edit because I can edit anywhere and I can edit anytime. I can't film anytime and anywhere. So yeah, that pretty much answers that. And also, on the note of editing things, I mentioned this in my happy video, but I've kind of accidentally become a professional videographer and editor. So, coffee. I love this. This is... Call me a basic white girl. I don't care. I need this in my life. I really do. Anyway, so I've like gotten some video editing work, like a lot of it at the end of the year, and I think it's gonna keep going. So I'm like, ha 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 ha, because if you know me personally, you know that while I was in high school and also my first year of college, I was unemployed for a very long amount of time. I was unemployed between the ages of 16 and 19. Yeah. Was not fun. I hated it. Because at that time, and it's still true, it's really, really hard to get hired as a teenager or somebody in their early 20s. And also who has a ridiculous schedule like I do. And in college that kind of only got worse because I don't have time to hold down a job. So that's why I'm really, really lucky that the main job that I have now as a professor's assistant, it's something where I guess you could say I make my own hours, but I don't really have like hours. It's weird. But so after being unemployed for a very long time, I'm really super hella employed right now, which is great. But anyway, so the way that this kind of started is that, like, my friends know I'm a YouTuber, you know, I vlog around them all the time, like, a lot of them do watch my videos, they know of it, like, they know, a lot of them know about Theater Commandments, like, a lot of them know about this, like, especially people in musical theater, like, not even, like, they know it because they follow it, it's like, they know where the sheet music is coming from, if you catch my drift, it's like they know where the sheet music is magically appearing from, we've had, you've probably seen, like, we've had so many damn, like, sheet music crises that I've, like, had to go on the blog and be like, does somebody have this? And so, yeah, that's where the magical sheet music is coming from, everybody. But, so, I mean, also for musical theater, I was doing videos for us, for a while, just because I would have done it anyway, and so I would either edit them. This past show, I actually filmed the whole show, instead of just editing it. Like, we filmed it on my camera, not off like the random like ACSM camera. I don't know. So they were actually nicer than the ones we had in the past. And we did this thing called Cafe Night, which it was kind of hell to set up. Not gonna lie, it was very, very, very much done last minute. It was a lot of emails, a lot of texts, a lot of me yelling at my phone. My phone would go off and I'd literally be like, what the fuck is it now? And, you know, it was kind of just a lot of work condensed into a very short amount of time. And it wound up being a really great thing. It just kind of wound up being like this giant, you know, multi-arts major jam session. And it was great. And I filmed that and made some money at that. And, well, actually, before that, like a week before, my friend Elise, she wanted to send her grandpa a video of her singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow for his birthday, and she wanted a better quality video, so she asked me to do it. I didn't actually get paid for that, but we were just kind of like, it was a quick thing, and I didn't even think to charge for it. And the reason that I started charging for videos is actually because when Cafe Night was happening, I was really, really, really buried under work, and I was starting to get overwhelmed, and I said, all right, you know what, I can, like, and one of the people that was running it, well, I wound up kind of in a weird administrative position. Like, it was weird. Like, I was like doing the online form and thing. I don't know. It was weird. It was kind of like a lot of people were contributing and is whatever. But the person who was like in charge asked me, and she's like, "Well, you can provide video stuff, right?" And because I was getting so overwhelmed with like stuff I had to get done, I was like, you know, I don't have the time to do this for free. And she was like, you know what, fine. And so charged a little bit of money per person and made some money off that. And then after that, you know, people were like, all right, well, can I pay you to film this and do that? And I also got a gig doing a promo for my school's orchestra for their John Williams concert where they did music from the movies, which, guys, that cost that everybody in orchestra, you know, plus like the conductors, like Audrey, Nissan, Tong, like Maestro, y'all killed it. That concert was amazing. It was a nerdy dream and I loved it. And just, oh my God. Like, they were playing in costume and the conductors were in costume. It was, oh my God, it was a dorky, nerdy dream. But I did a promo for them, and that was a paying gig. My friend Audrey, who was one of the assistant conductors for orchestra, she asked me to do, I have to actually check in and make sure that's a thing, to possibly do a promo for, she's stage managing Figaro, a production of Figaro in Manhattan, and they wanted a promo. And I was like, she said, well, what's your rate, turnaround time, all that, and I almost just knocked over my coffee. And so I told her, so I might be doing that, and also, like, I got paid to do videos for Opera Studio. Like, it's kind of nice to be making some money at this. And also, after I made that promo, like, the director of the music school was like, we might have more work for you. And I'm like, all right. So that's really good. And it's like, again, because it's a job I can do wherever I want and whenever I want within reason. And it's also something I really like to do. So it's like, yes, like, score one for Amy. All right, what else? Oh, so speaking of my school, the next point, these are like actually like outlined in a way that they're like all lead into each other, but I think I just wrote them down as I was thinking of them, so it like is actually kind of connected. This is like an iPhone stylus. I don't know why I'm playing with it, but I am. Coffee break. I need to look for something. Okay, so the next thing, I guess it's because it's like, I don't know. I mean, when I applied to colleges, like, I was looking at colleges all through junior year, and maybe these are people like looking, I don't know. So it's like, this is past college application time, so I don't know why I'm getting them now. But I've been getting a lot of questions about my school, and I've always kind of, I mean, Theater Commandments, I've always gotten questions like, what are you studying? Are you in college? Stuff like that, like just like questions like that. And also, by the way, the biggest misconception about me on Theater Commandments, I am not a musical theater major. I'm not. I'm a music. That is a phone. I am not going to answer that phone. I am going to wait it out until that phone stops ringing. You done? I actually really hope I don't have to, if this person leaves a message, I really hope I don't have to cut it out. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. What was I talking about? Yes, okay. So I am not a musical theater major. My school is not a theater school at all. Not even a drama school. I go to a liberal arts school, but we have a very, 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 very strong music program. So I go to the Aaron Copland School of Music at CUNY Queens College, which I normally refer to as ACSM or Copeland, because the full name of my school is literally the Aaron Copland School of Music at the City University of New York, Queens College. It's long as shit. So we don't say the full one because it's so freaking long. So ACSM Copeland, whatever. You've probably seen me use that acronym all over the internet to refer to it. So ACSM stands for Aaron Copland School of Music. I get a lot of questions about it. And yeah, number one, not a theater major, music major. I am majoring in vocal performance and music education. It's probably the biggest question that I get all the time, and this is another thing related to like website management. I really need to update the FAQ and add in a few things that I get asked a lot. So I'm majoring in vocal performance and music education. My degree program is BM, Bachelor's of Music, and after that, hopefully, I will continue at ACSM in the MM program, which is Masters in Music, Masters of Performance, because to teach in New York State, you need a master's degree. I'm not even sure if I'm going to wind up as a teacher because I really want to perform, but I really want to teach, but I also really want to be a choral director, but I also really want to teach like private voice, and I don't know what I'm doing with my life. So I like basically kind of went like music. That's as far as I got. So, and this caffeine is starting to kick in, and it is marvelous. So, I've recently gotten like a bunch of questions about ACSM, from people who might want to go there, and I've gotten like questions here and there about it. Either like it's like where do you go to school, but I think I've gotten like several about like people actually considering going to ACSM, and I'm like, and I mean it's a lot to describe, and there are posts. I've made a couple of really long posts recently, and I've been reblogging them to Theater Commandments just because I do get a lot of questions about it, because they've come in on my other blogs. But yeah, Copeland School of Music, it's a cool place to be, and it's kind of flattering that people like have now know about this like little music school in New York that I go to, and because of me. I mean, I don't know if it's because of me, but I think it's because of me. I don't know. I don't think you would know. I don't know. Like Copeland's a really good school, but like I don't know if you would know about it outside of New York because it's a school within the CUNY system, and like I don't even know if people know what CUNY is outside of New York. Like in New York we have CUNY and SUNY. So CUNY is City University of New York, CUNY, but we call it CUNY, and SUNY is State University of New York, SUNY. And they're just like state schools and city schools. It's kind of like the same as like it's like your state school. It's just like we have this acronym for it. So like, University of like USC, like state. Is that it? No. Well, USC is University of Southern California, but like I meant to say like UC. So there's like UCLA, UC Irvine, UC whatever. Like it's like that. It's like we just have like that acronym because State University of New York is long, and we don't. New Yorkers are impatient. We don't want to say all those words. So, Aaron Copeland School of Music is a school within school, and that's why like explaining it to people is very confusing. Because it's like yes, I go to Queens College, but I'm a music major, so I identify as a Copeland student first because like I literally never leave the music building. Next semester, I think I only have one class outside of the music building, and it's an education class. So it's like I'm actually not taking any classes outside of my major next semester just because kind of got screwed over in terms of like scheduling because I have to take language classes, but there were none that would fit into my schedule, and actually one of them just got canceled because of low enrollment. And I wish they would do language classes like through the music school, because the language classes that they have, one, they're literally in the building that's off campus and is like 15 blocks away, and they're like not given at times that people who need to take them can take them. So yeah, just that's my rant. And yeah, I don't know, I don't want to like make this into like the ACSM live stream podcast or whatever, just because to explain everything, especially like the questions I've gotten recently, it would take a while. But basically I got 2 questions about the strings program, and I'm a voice major. I mean there's a lot of things that are kind of universal to everybody at ACSM just because it's like there are things that are specific to your instrument. Like vocal performance majors, we have to take diction classes, so we have to take which is like when you explain it to a non-music major, they always are like, what the unicorn fuck is that? And it's like, it's literally a class where you learn how to pronounce a language that you don't speak. And while it sounds ridiculous, you actually need to. I have something on my eyelash. It's something that really goes a long way, because like, while we have resources like IPA Source that do IPA for you and do translations for you, like it's good to know how to do it yourself, like not relying on IPA Source. So one, you're not relying on IPA Source, as really magnificent as IPA Source is. It's good to kind of not be flying blind if you text in a foreign language. It's all towards, giving you more knowledge in terms of being a musician. But yeah, I don't know the strings program specifically. Like, I don't know the private teachers. I don't really know what the specialized classes you have to do in that track, because that's not my track. So I don't really know. But again, like, the degree programs, the only way that they vary, like, within the same degree program is, like, between instruments, but most of the stuff's the same. Like, you still take 6 semesters of theory, you still take 4 semesters of sight singing, you still take 4 semesters of history. Like, you still do all the same basic academic stuff, like music gen eds almost. But yeah. So other than that, like, just because I probably could ramble on about that for a long time. Speaking of stuff that I need to update, like I mentioned, the poster store, the merch store. That's, yeah. I've been doing a few little updates. I need to take the ornaments out of the store because I said they were limited edition until the 25th, and then it's the 28th. I haven't taken them out of the store. Oops. But I want to update it and add in. I want to put in more phone cases, but I hate putting phone cases into the store just because, like, here's the thing. When I put a phone case into a store, it's not just putting one item in. It's literally putting about 20 items in, because I have to put it on every possible phone case that they have there, because not everybody is like me, like, and has an iPhone 6, I can't just put it on one case for one phone, That would be kind of like a douchey move, but it's really annoying because then I have to enter in one design about 20 times, and I'm not exaggerating, and it's just such a pain in the ass. So, yeah. And by the way, like, I've gotten questions like this since I've had the merch store. If you don't see your phone case in the store, Spreadshirt doesn't have it as an option, and I'm sorry. Right now, Spreadshirt, the cases that they have that you can put designs on are all the iPhones dating back to the iPhone 4, I think, still. So they have iPhone 6 and 6S because they're the same size phone. 6 Plus, 6 Plus S, 6S Plus. They have the 5/5S, 5C, and then they have, like, all the Galaxy phones, like the Samsung Galaxy back to, like, the S2, and I guess we're on, like, S6, S7? I don't know, they have, like, 5 or 6 iterations of a Samsung Galaxy. They have a couple of HTC phones, and from what I can tell right now, they still don't have cases for Windows phones. They still don't have cases for Blackberries or stuff like that, or, like, other random smartphones. Like, I got, like, a questions like, do you have it for the LG one? I'm like, no. So when I do add phone cases in, I add them in for every possible phone that that Spreadshirt has. It's just like, if you don't see your phone case there, Spreadshirt just doesn't have it, and I'm sorry. They also have tablet cases, which I haven't made yet. Specifically iPad, and I think no, they have iPad, Samsung tablets, and I think a Nexus tablet. Not sure. And I want to make tablet cases, but I would have to make the designs bigger, and yeah. So that might be a thing, but I haven't really sat down and updated the merch store in a while, just because I've been swamped with work. And so ideally, I want to make a commandment shirt out of the most recent commandment, which is, thou shalt always answer thy email in a timely manner, and I want to make that because I want that shirt myself. I also want the long sleeve I have rehearsal shirt, because those long sleeve shirts are so freaking comfortable. Not gonna lie, it's my favorite lazy day shirt. I mean, right now I'm wearing, like, this isn't really a lazy day shirt, but it's a giant flannel, so it's, like, so cozy. But anyway, I want to make that shirt just because I want it myself. And I'm probably gonna add in a couple more commandment shirts. I haven't really added commandment shirts in a while. I haven't really added that many items in a while. So if you have any item requests, send them to me. Again, preferably through either the Theater Commandments website or directly to the Theater Commandments blog. I mean, you can send them to me on Twitter, but it's easier if it just comes into Theater Commandments, so it's all kind of self-contained. And yeah, I mean, like, I always, like, check up on what like new items they have, because if they have, like, a new phone case or something, I'm just like, oh, I can now add cases for that phone or something like that. And yeah, and the last thing I want to talk about before, I have like one question, at least I think I only have one question, but it's like a question that requires a really long response sitting in my inbox. Is the concert that I did last week? No, 2 weeks ago in St. Patrick's Cathedral, and it was amazing. Okay, so St. Patrick's Cathedral. Oh no, I have 3 questions. Okay, okay. So, oh my god, this has been like almost an hour of updates. I haven't streamed in so freaking long, you guys. Okay, I might run out of coffee before we're done streaming. No. I was a part of a thing called City Singing at Christmas, which is a concert that they do in St. Patrick's Cathedral every year, and it was just an amazing experience to sing in there and to sing alongside to just amazing choirs, the St. Patrick's Cathedral Choir and Young People's Chorus in New York City, plus me and my beloved QC Choir, Queens College Choir. I actually had a solo in that concert. I posted that piece, like I ripped it off of they rebroadcast it on SiriusXM's Catholic channel. When I heard it, we're like, oh, we're gonna rebroadcast the concert, and I was like, oh, on like WQXR, which is like the classical music station. At least it is for New York. Like, is that like a national thing? I don't really know. It's like oh, on like QXR, like the classical music. Like, no, on the Catholic channel. And I don't know why I giggled at it. I'm like, of course it's on the Catholic channel. I don't know why I found that funny. I just did. But I recorded that stream just so I could have a copy of it, but I also like kind of chopped out the piece where I had a solo and put it on my SoundCloud, and you can go listen to it. I linked it to my official blog, amyguarino.tumblr.com, which is linked down below. And yeah, it was so much fun. Like, it was worth the extra rehearsal time, and it was worth hauling ass into Manhattan during finals. It was just, I had a great time, and I'm really proud of that performance, and I'm glad that I can say that I did it, because it was like kind of a big deal to be a part of that. Okay, so now we're gonna get into questions, and actually, these first 2 look like they're not gonna need too long of a response, so we'll answer that first, and then we'll get to the one that I'm probably gonna actually type out into into an advice post. This question is like directly related to what I was just talking about. If music be the food of love, sing on said, I love your name. It's like, if music be the food of love. I sang that my second semester in college. When it was my second semester at ESASM, but it was my first semester with my teacher. So I sang that. I also sang that in my audition for the BM program, which was my second semester in college, and I got in. So yeah. And they ask, what is your favorite song you've ever sung in a choir? Oh my god, don't make me choose. I'm going to say it's a song called Still I Rise, Rosephanie Powell. It was like literally like, I am woman, hear me roar, and we sang it with like, I did it in high school on my senior year, and basically it was like 3 soloists, and they would like 3 like gospel, like bring the house down crazy good soloists where it's just like, oh, like when they sing and it's like you feel it in your soul because it's so good, and you're just like, oh my god, lay your talent upon me. And it's like that song is it's literally like, I'm a woman, come at me. And we had it sung by the women that were in women's choir. That's redundant, but then also all the women of concert choirs. It was like 80 girls just going like, and it was so I loved it. I mean, I've loved a lot of choir pieces, but like I think that might be my favorite, actually. I think it's just because it sticks out in my head like that. All right, next question comes from Anonymous. Question for the thingy: have you seen Star Wars? If so, did you like it? Okay. As a glasses-wearing nerd, I've failed in one way. I've never seen Star Wars, and I need to fix that. I really want to watch all of them and then watch the 7th one, but I've seen bits and pieces of Star Wars, and like I know the general gist of it, but I've never actually seen any of the Star Wars movies. Yeah, I need to fix that. I need to watch them. I want to just like, I mean, now that I have time, I want to just like binge watch all of them. But like, I feel like such a failure of a nerd that I have never seen Star Wars. But like, yeah, sorry for my nerdy failure of not seeing Star Wars. Okay, so now let's get on to this question that I've. Every time my email tone goes off, like even though I know I'm on break and I don't have work, I think it's work, and I'm like, oh. Anyway, okay. So now let's get into this question that's literally been sitting in my inbox for like 2 weeks, and I've never answered it because it requires a really long explanation. But I'm gonna actually make the answer to this into an advice post. So if I don't make sense now, I hopefully will make sense in a little bit. So Anonymous asks, tips on not being nervous for auditions. My honors theater classes final is an audition, and she said my only problem was how nervous I was, and in January I have to interview for a bunch of colleges. Okay, let me just say this. I never want to go through the college audition process again. That's like I want to continue in grad school at my current school for a whole bunch of reasons. One, I like it at ACSM, and two, I don't have to switch voice teachers, being like the biggest reasons, and also low tuition. I wouldn't have to move away, and also don't have to switch voice teachers because I really don't want to do that because I'm stubborn and I like my voice teachers. No, I don't want to switch. But it also means like I would be auditioning for people that know me, and it wouldn't really like be like auditioning for a whole new crop of schools all over again. But anyway, I would never want to go through the college audition process again, and I understand why you're nervous because it's like you walk into an audition and you're like, "Oh, I'm auditioning for people who don't know me, and this audition a lot of stuff is riding on it." It's like you can't help but feel like, "Oh my god, my future is riding on these auditions." And it's like it's terrifying. And like I'm I get horrible audition anxiety, like beyond what is normal. I get very, very, very bad audition anxiety because I'm fine performing in front of 2,000 people, or probably more than that, in like St. Patrick's Cathedral. I freak the hell out if I have to sing in front of 4 people. It scares the hell out of me. And I actually had a final for music ed where it was an interview and I had to sing. So I was like, yeah, that is straight up terrifying for me. So I understand. I really do. And what's helped me are a few things. One, I mean, always work on your audition rep with your voice teacher, or with, if you don't have a voice teacher, work on them. Like if you have in high school, I would work on them with my choir director at the time. He would help me out. Actually did my pre-screening recordings in the choir room in my high school. Ask a choir teacher, or even ask, like, if you're in a show right now, ask a musical director to help you out for like 15 minutes. Seriously, like, just get the main thing I'm trying to say is get feedback, even if it means seeing for your friends and seeing what they say and like getting constructive criticism from them, or recording yourself and listening back. Like, get feedback. And this kind of leads into like the best thing you can do to reduce your nerves for auditions is be prepared in advance. So like if you are memorized, aim to be memorized more than a week before the audition. I mean, like, ideally, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Like, that's kind of like ideally if you have that much time, and that's not always the case. But if you do, like, don't be memorizing it the night before or even the week before. Like, be ready, because when you're prepared and you're not so terrified that you're going to forget something, or so terrified that you're going to mess up, like when everything's ready to go in advance, it really, really goes a long way. And just, my mom's calling me. Well, I'm going to answer this live on the air. Hello? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you go to Deer Park or Riverhead? Oh. Well, I'm sorry. Oh, right. Okay. You're on a live stream right now. No, I answered the phone. I'm streaming right now. So it's not on speaker. It's not on speaker. So all right, bye. Okay, sorry. I normally just like if I'm streaming, or you probably saw earlier, it's like I don't know what it is. It's like there are some people who are so freaking good at calling and texting and emailing me when I can't pick up my phone. So like they'll call me when I'm in class, or they'll text me while I'm driving, or like, and normally if I'm filming or like recording or streaming, I'll just let the phone ring. But that was my mom, so I had to pick it up. And yeah. So I don't remember what I was talking. Oh, yes, you're talking about audition anxiety. So, yes, let's be prepared. Basically, that's what I was saying before. Just be prepared, and don't, because that kind of eliminates one variable. It makes you not worry about what your. It makes you less worried about your performance just because you know that you know it. And, so then when you get kind of that adrenaline rush, it kind of lessens the effects of it because you're that much more solid. And it's always good to be, solid on your stuff anyway when you walk in. And also, like, that increased familiarity with what you're performing, the more familiar you are with it, the less nervous you are to perform it. And even when you do get nervous, it kind of doesn't affect your performance as much. Also, like, jeez. I mean, this is something that I kind of battle myself, and I'm kind of slowly figuring out how to get over it. For me, I can't turn my brain off. I can't. I wish that I could. I can't. I think too much. I overanalyze. I'm a perfectionist, especially when it comes to performing, and it's not fun. And so, my teacher will always tell me, it's like, just turn it off. Just like, don't think. And it's like, I can't. It's not something I can turn off. At least right now, I can't turn it off. And so what works for me actually is to kind of channel, and I'm also very, very, very energetic. So, sometimes like literally standing and focusing on performing, like if I'm having like an energy surge or that, like, I think that like makes my like adrenaline nervousness actually that much worse, just because I am so like naturally energetic. Oh God, I lost my train of thought. Ugh. I hate when this happens. Ugh. We were talking about, okay. I will get back to my point. I will. Oh, yes. Okay. Now I remember what I wanted to say. So basically, it helps me. I can't turn my brain off. I wish that I could. Life would be so much easier if I could stop myself from overanalyzing and being such a freaking perfectionist nut job. But I can't. So what actually helps is to think of something different or focus on something different. So I can't fully let go and turn my brain off, but instead I just shift it towards something else. So if I'm performing, I recently figured this out after so many performances where, like, when I perform classical music, I am straight up terrified, and every single time. And that's only slowly starting to change. Recently, I like had a couple performances where I was actually, believe it or not, a tad bit confident. And so I shifted my brain from thinking, and focusing so hard on technique and doing everything perfect, and I shifted it towards thinking the translation. And so when I'm singing in Italian and kind of simultaneously translating into English in my head, it helped me focus more on the interpretation and more on my expression, and it actually made it a lot more relaxed. And so you can't really apply that to musical theater because you're normally performing in English, but something like that. It's like, shift your focus. So there are noises outside. Awesome. So shift your focus from, like, shift your focus from, oh my God, I have to do this perfectly. Oh my God, I'm so nervous, to the interpretation of the piece onto, you know, and thinking through the emotions of the character, or shit, just, whatever works for you, and play around with it. Seriously, like, don't try to force it, because it's not fully letting go. And again, that's something I'm still working on, but it's kind of halfway there, and it's something that's helped me a lot recently. And kind of like, once I figured out that this is what I have to do, especially to like channel my sometimes uncontrollable energy into a different spot, it's really helped. And also, like, what I do before performances and before auditions too is that I will, and this is weird, but it's like, this might just be me, but I literally never rush through getting ready for an audition or a show. And by that I mean I take my time doing my hair, doing my makeup, getting dressed, and like I'll literally just like do that and like play, like watch Netflix while I'm doing it, or listen to music, or listen to a podcast or something. And that is my zen, like my chill down, calm down time, because it's like I don't know what it is, but it's like I'll take my time to do my hair, and it's not even like a vanity thing, although it kind of is. It's like, it's not even like to make sure I look like extra good. It's literally, it's like I just calm myself down by taking time while I'm getting ready. Like, that is my zen time. And like having that zen time, whether it be taking your time, getting ready, or having a cup of tea and like listening to music, or just whatever like calms you down, do it before, and just kind of be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I can do this. Like, and also another thing to remember that is often hard to remember for people with very, very, very bad audition anxiety like myself, is that you probably did a lot better than you think you did. Yeah, because one, it's not like, well, for auditions this isn't always true. It's really a 50-50 shot. Like, sometimes it's recorded, sometimes it's not. If they only saw your audition once and they weren't recording you, chances are any tiny mistakes that you picked up on will go unnoticed, especially if you yourself don't acknowledge them. And so if it was recorded and they really, really, really wanted to overanalyze it, maybe, but basically you probably did better than you think you did. And it's like, you are always your own worst critic, especially if you're a perfectionist. And so you notice things that somebody else would never notice, or would hardly think is like a huge problem that you do, like even if they were to like listen back to a recording like 5 times, And so it's like, I try not to think too much about auditions after they happen, but then again, that's sometimes like an impossible feat, because like you want to know if you got it. But yeah, it's like, this is something I'm very much working on myself, so I can't really give definitive advice on. But yeah, that's about it. And I'm probably gonna go more in depth into this on Tumblr. I'm gonna make an advice post out of this. I'm actually gonna add that to the FAQ. I really need to update the damn FAQ. Okay, let's check if I have any more questions. Anonymous said, "OMG, your ringtone is Defying Gravity. That's wonderful." Yes, it is. I have had my ringtone, like, before I had iPhones, I would switch around my ringtone, like, every other month. Like, I don't know, I always get bored of ringtones, but then, like, I don't know what it was. I finally, the first thing I did when I got my first iPhone, this is my second one, like, 3 years ago, no, 2 years ago, 2013, 2 years ago, I just bought 2 ringtones, and this is how you always know it's my phone. So if you call me, my ringtone is Defying Gravity, and if you text me, my ringtone is the Law and Order noise. And I forgot to silence my phone, because I have not streamed in a while, and I forgot that you should silence your phone when you're live streaming. And yeah, my phone never stops ringing. And like my email tone is just like this, like do like iPhone noise. But I really want to switch. I want to set a specific ringtone for my boss, and I really want to set it to a high note, so I always know when she's emailing me. It's like, she's great, like, I love her, but like, I when your boss is the head of the voice department, it's just kind of funny to think, like, every time they try to contact you, a high note just starts busting out of your phone. It would be like the national alert system for my iPhone. So I really want to do that. But yeah, my ringtone is Defying Gravity, and everybody's like, oh my god, that's such a cliche thing. And I'm like, well, I always know it's my phone, so piss off. Like, I don't have, generic, iPhone ringtone number 5, I have Defying Gravity, and that's how I roll. So, okay. So let's do one final check for questions, and then I think we might be done. I've been streaming for an hour. It's like, it's about how long these streams have been running since I started, like, doing them. And I said this back in the summer that I want to do these more regularly, and I really do. I really do want to make this into a more regular thing, almost like a podcast. But it's just not something that's possible. You know, as much as I want to do it, it's not really possible, which it's like I wish I could. I just don't have time to like actually sit down and answer all the questions all day. Yeah. And or just sit down, like I don't have time to sit down and like talk to my laptop for an hour every week. Like I don't have that time, which sucks. So it's like, well, it doesn't really suck because it's like I spend my time doing stuff that I love, but I'm just always working so much, so whatever. Okay, let's just do one final check of Tumblr. Actually, let me check the live chat. Oh, I hope you've had a nice Christmas, Amy. Yes, I did. I only just saw this from Chloe Louise in the live chat. You can comment in the live chat, guys. Yes, I had a really good Christmas. I posted a like Christmas recap video of just like I didn't really vlog. I just kind of took I actually had my DSLR on me. So I took some random videos in the various places I went to on Christmas. I went to my grandparents'. Okay, we have more questions. I started Christmas at my grandparents' house in Manhattan, and then we went out to Long Island to my aunt and uncle's house, and then we went to pick up my friend Lindsay, who is a choreographer for my theater company. She's really cool, and then we all went back to Queens for the Ditch Your Family party that we do on every holiday. So my theater company, who is basically like my second family, they every holiday we go over to one of the producers' houses, like, well, two of the producers, whatever, their house, and we have a Ditch Your Family party. So you spend the day with your family, and then you ditch your family, and then you hang out with your theater family, and it's really fun. So it's like you always end the holiday like with your other family, and it's a really like cute thing we do. And we did like a Yankee swap, which is like where you bring basically like you choose numbers, and so like I was actually number 2, and so like number 2 can choose, like you pick a gift, but if you don't like it, you could swap with number 1. But then like so on and so forth. So it's like if you're number 3, you can swap gifts with 2 or 1, and then like so on and so forth. So you could swap gifts if you don't like the one you got with the people before you. And so I actually got a really good gift. I got a purple French press, a purple Mr. Coffee French press for coffee, and it's just like, oh my god, I literally squealed when I opened it, and I was like, I picked the right thing. And it was like, because I am a caffeine addicted overworked college student. And so like opening this freaking gorgeous French press, and I'm like, I'm a bit of a coffee snob. I'm a little picky with my coffee. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is disgusting, send it back. Like I don't think I've ever like sent anything back in a restaurant. I'm like, I don't know. But like I don't know, maybe it's because I'm from New York and it's like I know where to get good dollar bodega coffee. But yeah, I was like, oh, I got a freaking French press. Yes! All right, so this question just came in from Oprah's bitch. Some of y'all have like beautiful URLs that I'll just like start cracking up at before I like when I do Tales of Hell Week. Like sometimes I'll literally just spend like a minute laughing at the URL before I read the damn story. So Oprah's bitch asked, favorite piece you've ever performed? No. I got a question like this earlier for favorite choir piece. At least that was a little more specific. Favorite piece? Shit. Oh my god. I guess I'm gonna break this up into favorite classical piece and favorite musical theater piece. I think classical will be easier to choose because there's fewer. Damn. Oh, I hate this question. I hate this question. I need coffee. I hate this question. Oh. I can't decide. Oh my god, my phone keeps slipping. Okay. I mean, the one that's popping up in my head I guess my favorite as of right now for classical pieces is a piece called Stizzoso Mio Stizzoso from La Serva Padrona Pergolesi. Pergolesi is the composer, not the name of the title. And it's such a sassy, it's just the sassiest of arias. And I sung it a lot last year. I sung it for a recital. I sung it in a master class. I sung it a lot. And I sang it for my jury, actually. And it's so sassy and so like jumpy, and I love it. I love it so much. And for musical theater, this is going to be significantly harder to choose because I've worked on so much more musical theater stuff. I mean, right now, well, towards the end of last year, not last year, the last semester, I was working on A Light in the Piazza in my lessons, and like I think that's the freshest thing in my mind. So that's probably like I haven't performed it though, so I don't know if that counts. Ugh! This is so hard to choose. I think for musical theater, favorite piece I've ever performed, I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with Greenfinch and Linnetbird, actually. I performed it at last year's NAFME recital. The recording of that is on my SoundCloud, and there's a video of it on my music channel. And it was hard to work on. There was one bit that, like, you get mental blocks working on pieces sometimes. And there was one, like, it was like, I don't know, like 4 measures. It was a trill, but it was like a weird trill, and it was hard, and I was like, I think there were I was like in 3 like for like 2 or 3 weeks I was like stumbling on that every single lesson. Like I was working on it and trying to work it out, and I just like couldn't. And so once I finally got over it, I was like, oh my god, I love this song. Like I loved it before I had that crazy mental block, but like after that I was like, oh, I love this. So do we have more questions? I don't think so. I'm gonna do like one final loop. Every time I say all right, I'm gonna check one more time, and then there's more questions in my inbox. So ooh! We have another one from Oprah's Bitch. I fucking love your URL. And I love it because last night, I'm gonna post a vlog of Jay. Depends on when I get around to editing. And it was last night I was reunited with the Fab Five, which are my friends from high school. And we're just the squad. Like I have a squad at ACSM, but this is like my high school squad. So, and we love, I like the fact that I can say that like I'm still friends with like my best friends from high school. So yeah, because we cool. But yeah, we were playing Cards Against Humanity, and this reminded me of this because your URL is Oprah's Bitch, which is I love that so much. We're playing Cards Against Humanity, and I got like I got the card that was like home video of Oprah Winfrey crying over a Lean Cuisine, and I played it, and it was like totally appropriate, and I won. So I just remember like getting that card. I love Cards Against Humanity. Like we've been playing it around ACSM in the lounge when we're all on break just to like relax. We relax by playing like the most fucked up card game in existence. So okay, let me actually read this. Also, just wanted to say that I love your videos so much, and before your stage makeup tutorial, my look was foundation and eyeliner only. After, I got so many compliments on my contouring job, so thank you. Also, sorry for the hard question. It's okay. It's just like, it's hard, I've been doing this for a long time, and thank you for so many compliments. I'm glad that I was able to help you with stage makeup, because I'm not like an exceptional makeup person. I don't know. I think I'm pretty much average at makeup. Like I used to be a beauty guru like 2 years ago. Well, more than 2 years ago, like 2.5 years ago. And then I said, fuck that. I'm gonna be a comedian. But yeah, no, it's no problem. It's just like, as far as like the hard question, it's like, I've been doing this for a long time now. So trying to choose my favorite piece that I've ever performed, and I've been, singing since I was 11, so 9 years. It's hard. So yes, thank you, and I'm glad that I was able to get your contouring on fleek, because I'm not contoured today. My face is the shape of a potato, and like I just ain't no structure up in here. All right, like I barely have a jawline. All right, there's not a lot of. I actually doubt the existence of my cheekbones. Like my face is just this one gelatinous mass of white. And well, I'm not, this actually makes me look whiter than I am. I'm actually like I'm like off-white, because I mean, if my last name isn't enough of a dead giveaway, I'm Italian and Greek and Puerto Rican, so I tan really, really easily. Like, it's impressive. I literally can step outside and like within a half hour, my skin is already like tanning. And this actually came up as an issue a few years ago when I was in Sound of Music. When I was 16, I was in Sound of Music, and like I couldn't be really tan because I had to be Austrian. So like, you know, yeah, me, friggin' Italian-looking, Brooklyn-y sounding me is playing a 13-year-old Austrian girl. But yeah, that was a fun show. I was just like, you want to cast me? Okay. But yeah, I was like, shit, I can't tan. So I would literally be like coating myself in like layers upon layers because the show was in the summer, like of sunscreen, so I wouldn't get so dark because if not, I would literally like just like tan like crazy, and then I would be like 5 shades darker than the rest of my stage family. And yeah, so that is not only a me issue. And yeah, I'm glad that I was able to help you. And like, also that video, the stage makeup tutorial is one of like my most recent, like out of my recent videos, it's one of the most highly viewed. That video is filled with editing mistakes. And I don't know if anybody picked up on it, but there's editing glitches all over the damn thing. Because when I filmed that video, I had not made a real makeup tutorial in 2 freaking years. And so I had forgotten how to do it, and I didn't want to do it like, you know, generic beauty guru number 1005, because I'm not a beauty guru anymore. I made an entire video about why I'm not a beauty guru and why I don't want to be and why I kind of walked away from that. But I literally forgot how to make a makeup video and how to make a makeup tutorial. And also, I mentioned this, I don't know if I've ever actually really fully explained this in a video. These aren't ironic. I can't see. Like, well, okay. My vision issue is that my left eye does not work at all. It's like, if I was to go like this, like with my glasses off, like, this is all like a blur. Like, if I was to go like that and like a person was standing in front of me, I would not be able to tell who they are. Like, I'm extremely, extremely nearsighted. And even with my glasses off, like my right eye is damn near perfect. Like, I can see fine. Can't see a damn thing. And so when people try on my glasses, they're just like, ah, ah! Like last week, my friend Caleb like tried on my glasses and he literally screamed. And he literally just went, ah! I took them off. It was really funny. But like, so even with my glasses off, like, because my right eye isn't that bad, I can actually walk around without my glasses on and be okay. You know, I'm not gonna bump into a wall. I might have to read something like this close, but I can perform without them on. I can still perform without my glasses on and be fine. Like, my vision in my left eye has gotten worse over the years, and it's mostly because from not wearing my glasses, actually. Yeah. Because I don't know exactly the thing, but it's like it puts more strain on this, so whatever. Wearing my glasses actually prevents it from getting worse. But anyway, because of my extreme nearsightedness, if I had to shut my right eye, like, and in order to put something on it, I would have to be literally this close to the mirror to be able to see out of my left eye. And so in my bathroom, where it's really cramped, like, I live in New York City, my house is really small, so I don't have space. I don't have like this giant spacious bathroom. Like, you know, for the longest time, I didn't understand that you could have more than one bathroom in a house. Like, my house is tiny and we have one bathroom, and like, then I see people, it's like, oh yeah, I have a bathroom attached to my bedroom. I'm like, are you rich? What the fuck is that? But apparently that's like usual. Whatever. I live in an average like house for New York, and small, whatever. But anyway, so in that bathroom, it's very hard to get a tripod in there with a giant freaking DSLR in there. And what I actually was doing was using my lens as a mirror. And so in order to film it, the DSLR has to be kind of perched in a really awkward position, but also I can't see a damn thing out of my left eye. So the reason that I really didn't make a lot of tutorials back then is because I had that vision issue, and filming tutorials, just being able to see, I would either have to hold a mirror very close and block what I was doing, or, you know, try to lean in to the mirror. It never worked. And so that made filming that video a nightmare, and there were a lot of editing glitches because I also had not edited a beauty video in something like 2 years. So that video, I'm glad that you guys like it, but it's filled with mistakes, not gonna lie. But it is a pretty accurate representation of what I do for stage makeup. And I was gonna just type that out into a post, but I just like I couldn't because it was like it's gonna be easier for me to explain it in a video, so I just kind of like bit the bullet and made a tutorial. So and if people ask for like more tutorials for like stage stuff, I probably would actually do it. Just like keep in mind, please don't ask for makeup videos. Like the only reason I made that is because I had been getting that question so much, and I was like, all right, maybe it's time to do this. But please don't ask for makeup tutorials, like especially like eye makeup tutorials, because I have vision problems. Okay, and this the left side of my left eye, it doesn't work at all. So I think we are done with questions. This stream is an hour and a half long. That's probably is the longest one I've ever done. Just do one final check for questions. Make sure I've addressed everything. And on the Twitters, nothing there. And I've answered everything from theater commitments. I've answered everything on my personal. Okay, so that is the end of today's live show. This live show will be available on the Theater Commandments website, and the video will be available right here on the channel that you are watching right now. And yeah, bye-bye, everybody.